So what brings you to Gallery 1313? What's the story?
So I'm here with the OCAD U thesis, skin thesis installation program, and we're here today to do our final show for our thesis graduation. And so this is it. This is some of my work here, right here. And you know, we're coming out, the four of us, the four artists, and we're kind of talking about resonance with the body, relationships with the body, our connection with the body. My work, more importantly, it's looking at kind of relationships with memories, the recreation of memories, and in my practice I use sewing kind of as a way to mend these memories. Yeah, so I'm, you know, mending in a way. Yeah.
Wow, I like that, mending those memories. So this art project, is it a personal project? These are your personal memories or memories of other people?
So these are personal memories. So they're memories that have been kind of reinvented, reconstructed to kind of, you know, the ideal form of what I want that memory to be. But really with these works, I want the viewers to be able to form their own structured narrative around the work, because I am, you know, in a way the author of these works, but it's the viewer who creates the memory when they look at it, right? Yeah.
So it's like creating a new set of memories based upon your own memories.
Yes, exactly.
So as far as research, did you do much research on memory and medical memory and so?
A lot of my work deals with the notions of nostalgia, but it also deals with the mirror stage or the mirror phase, the moment when the child realizes self. But I'm really interested in the unconscious and the conscious, because a lot of these memories I do source from the unconscious part of my mind. So a lot of my research is really focused in that. Of course, I'm very interested in Foucault, Michel Foucault. But yeah, a lot of that. But nostalgia is really what pushes these works, and you know, my nostalgic connection to these memories. Yeah.
So a nostalgia connection to the ego, because I could see like
yeah, in a way, and you know, they do talk about the ego in the mirror stage and how, you know, when we realize self, we come into our form of our identity and knowing who self is, and it's through knowing that self that we can form an ego. So it's like, in a way, it's like, it may be ego-based work, but there's no ego in it. Yeah.
So, and you choose the medium of stitching. Yes. Now, sewing and stitching. Who did your mom teach you, or did one of your parents teach you how to sew and stitch?
So playing into the ideas of nostalgia, of course, these tools and techniques that I'm using in my work have been passed down to me from my mother and my grandmother. So I'm kind of continuing that conversation of nostalgia with both my material and with the subject matter, which is really fun to work with, definitely. Yeah.
So as far as inspiration, obviously the inspiration, do you choose other mediums of art as an inspiration? Like when you create art, like when you create your stitching and when you're stitching, are you listening to certain music, or are you watching movies or magazines?
Of course. I'm really, you know, I really like jazz, but I find that I'm a really big fan of Monet. I look at a lot of Monet paintings, his, you know, works with the gaze, and you know, his ideas around the gaze and how he's worked with the gaze in his paintings. I draw a lot of inspiration from that when I'm doing my work. So a lot of these works are meant to be kind of impressions, like impressionistic paintings of a memory, you know, kind of unfolding, and it's almost the viewer who kind of takes those impressions and breaks them down and makes the picture. Yeah.
Okay, so the other thing too I wanted to ask is, thank you very much for that. That's awesome. Now, I made the mistake of thinking that there was a plug in the one exhibit over there. Are you looking and stitching for your realism as well? Because I see you're trying to. There's a realism in the texture and so forth.
So the sewing does allow me to definitely get this, you know, more realistic look and more realistic vibe. I do photorealistic painting on the side as well, but it does allow me to get, you know, high levels of detail, because the stitching is so small and so tiny that I'm able to get those small details. But yeah, the realism is really what it's about, but at the same time making something almost non-functioning in a way. It's so realistic that it looks like it could function, but it doesn't function, right? It's like this swear jar, it looks so realistic, but it doesn't function, right?
Like a memory.
Like a memory, exactly.
Now, do you hand stitch or do you use mechanical?
I work with a sewing machine, a Bernina sewing machine, a 1630 for anybody who sews, and it's a great little machine. It's hand embroidered, or hand machine embroidered, and it's quite a lot of work, but it's, you know, very therapeutic. Yeah.
And one last question, of course, I always ask this question. As a professional artist, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind with your artwork, or even as an artist?
I think it's really just about reaching people and reaching an audience and giving an audience something to kind of create a story around and to kind of, touch other people and help them, remember their memories in a way. Through these works, people can kind of recall their own childhood experiences and have their own moment of nostalgia. Yeah, all of the artwork is for sale. I do also on the side rugs, handmade rugs as well. And yes, the artwork is for sale.
Thank you very much.